Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the latest episode of The Shy, Season 4, episode number 10, called A Raisin in the Sun. Alright, so the episode starts off with Trig and Shad parked up in a truck as they watch the ambulance take Jemma's father away. Okay, so Trig thanks Shad for coming through, and Shad says, yeah, I told you I always had your back. Next, Nina has the nerve to tell Dre that she either gonna forgive her or move on. And Nina's reason for telling Dre this is because she can't take being in limbo. And Dre was like, how the heck you cheat on me but want to give me an ultimatum? But Nina's point is that she just wants to make things right. And Dre was like, well, that ain't gonna happen because stuff is different now. So the thing with this scene is that a lot of times when people cheat, they want to put a time frame on their partner's healing, right? And it don't work like that, okay? Nina just needs to understand that this is what comes with the consequences of her actions, and she needs to exercise some patience. Next, Lynnae wakes up in a hurry and tells Kev that she has to get home. And we see that she's back with a little funky attitude, okay? Because when Kev asks to walk her to the door, she tells him that she don't need no hand-holding. Next, Jemma tells Jake that she has to get home before her father wakes up, because if not, he's going to kill her. So, of course, Jake knows what's going on at Jemma's house, and he tries to keep her there because he does not want her to go home, okay? So he tells her that there's no way that he's going to get her home before her father wakes up. So you might as well stay with me and have breakfast, right? And I just didn't see the sense in this option. You know, if Jemma was so concerned with her father waking up before she got home, why was she so quick to let Jake convince her to stay out even later? You know, like that was just stupid and even more rebellious, you know? Whatever. Okay, so next, Dre sees Lynnae leaving the house and wants to know what the heck she's doing there and what she was doing in Kev's room. Now, Kev was just stuttering away, and I don't know why he just didn't say, look, Lynnae needed a place to stay for the night, but I swear we didn't do anything. But I guess he didn't want to snitch on Lynnae. But my thing is, you caught now, okay? And standing there with this dumbfounded look on your face is not going to help, okay? But anyway, Lynnae is the one who tells Dre that she has nowhere to stay. So up until this point, guys, it totally went over my head that Lynnae's brother is the dude who kept fighting with his girlfriend, Cherry, right? Because she's showing her goods on the internet. Now, I believe they were like the community protection's first call. You know, and Trig and Big Mike had to go over there and break up their domestic dispute. So after that call, that same couple and Lynnae start having therapy sessions with Dre. And Lynnae just wanted them to stop fighting. All right, this is what she expressed during one of the therapy sessions a few episodes back. But unfortunately, the fighting kept going on, and Cherry got her brother on Lynnae's brother, okay? And Cherry's brother pulls a gun out on Lynnae's brother. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. But Lynnae's brother is the one who winds up killing Cherry's brother a few episodes back. So now Lynnae doesn't have a place to stay because of what her brother did. So we already know that Dre is not about to let Lynnae be homeless on her watch. Next, Trig brings Shad back to his house and he apologizes to Imani. First, he thanks Imani for throwing the welcome home party and tells her that he really appreciated it, right? And she was like, you're welcome, but is that all you got to say? Because I didn't hear no apology. So Shad was a little reluctant at first. You know, he wanted her to meet him halfway, okay? But eventually, he apologized to Imani after she told him that he can't be looking down at people. So at that moment, they didn't exactly squash their issue, but Imani told Shad that it was a start, okay? Next, Tif is with Dante again, and she asks him what he would think if she left Emmett. And Dante was like, why would you do that? And Tif says, to be with you. We act like a couple anyway. And Dante was like, no, we don't. We act like cuddy buddies, okay? That's my clean version of what he said, okay? We act like cuddy buddies who don't hate each other. I like what we got. I'm the dude you call when you need money. I'm who you call if your son's barber cancels on him. I'm your nigga, right? And you could see the disappointment or stupid look on Tif's face. And we can just see that her bubble got burst, guys, real quick. And the irony of this conversation is that Tif pretty much told Emmett the same thing when he said he wants to close the marriage, right? She said, I like our arrangement. And now Dante is telling her the same thing. I like our arrangement. He used different words, but it all means the same thing, at the end of the day. And I would say that this was good for Tiff, but she pretty much got over it and moves on to the next, okay? And we'll talk about it later. But right now, we're going to talk about her scene with Emmett, which takes place after she gets home from being out with Dante. So Emmett sits up in his bed and he tells Tiff that he's sick of this open marriage crap. Who do you want to be with, me or Dante? So Tiff says, I can't do this with you right now. And Emmett was like, well, you don't have a choice. And I was like, that's right, Emmett, put that foot down, okay? So Tiff turns around and says, I don't know. And this is even after Dante just made it clear to her that he doesn't want anything more than what they got going on. So Emmett was like, fine, I'm moving out. And Tiff says, are you serious? And Emmett says, yeah, I'm tired of this. If you want to be with Dante, you can have him. Then he gets up to leave her behind right there sitting on the bed looking dumb. So now Tiff really has to make a choice. Next, Jake and Jemma are at the hospital to see about Marcus because unfortunately Jemma heard about the incident while the news was on at Trig's house. So Jemma says to Jake, we have to find out who did this to my dad. And Jake says, don't worry about that right now. And Jemma says, listen, my dad has cameras all over that house. One of them had to catch something. So of course Jake is thinking, okay, I'm going to have to tell this girl now, right? Next, Trig and Shad are back to being boys, and Shad brings up this dude named Meldrick who owes him money. But the sad thing is that Trig tells Shad that Meldrick got killed in a hit and run some time back. And all jokes aside now, Shad is feeling pretty messed up because he grew up with Meldrick. And Meldrick was a good dude who took care of him. So it does turn into a sentimental moment, but for me, this was just a way to allow us to get to know Shad a little more. We get to see that Shad seems to be a decent dude, maybe even a good dude, okay? And we know that he's loyal. Next, Jemma and Jake get back to her house and she goes straight to those cameras. So Jake was like, wait, let me tell you something before you look at that. So he tells her what happened. And of course she flips out and wants to know why Jake waited to tell her this. So Jake says, I'm sorry, but just don't tell nobody because if you do, my brother will go to jail and I don't know what's going to happen to me. And Jemma says, if it wasn't for your brother, my dad wouldn't be fighting for his life right now. And Jake was like, no, if it wasn't for my brother, your dad will be dead right now. And that was the end of that conversation because Jake walked away and left her right there. Next, Lynnae continues to play hard to get as Kev continues to push up on her. She tells Kev that she looks at him like a brother, and Kev was like, well, I ain't your brother. And Lynnae says, you will be if I move in with you and your family because Dre asked me to move in. So at this point, I don't know where Lynnae's head is right now, guys, because I'm not sure if she really looks at Kev as a friend or if she's just fronting, Next, Christian brings a bouquet of flowers to Keisha, then asks her if she would be his lady. And Keisha says yes. So they are official now, guys. And we made it through the episode and through the season without finding out that Christian is too good to be true. And I was so thankful for that. All right. So far, so good, guys. And hopefully that will not change next season if there is a next season. Next, Tracy and Duda have dinner together and she wants to know if he's the reason Marcus is in the hospital. And Duda lies through his teeth and tells her that Marcus is a respected colleague of his and he did not have anything to do with it. Then he tries to flip it on Tracy, right? By telling her that people are always going to have something to say. And the second she buys into it is the second he can't trust her. So this guy's definitely a monster psychopath who cannot be trusted, right, guys? And a few scenes earlier, he tells Trig that he better hope Marcus dies, or he better pray that Marcus dies, right? And Trig had to tell him, look, I'm actually praying for the opposite. Anyway, unfortunately for Tracy, she tells Duda that she's falling in love with him. Next, Jemma goes to Trig and Jake's house to tell them that she knows Trig tried to help her dad, and she came there to free Trig by giving him the recording. She also tells Trig that the hospital called to tell her that her dad is going to make it. So while Jemma and Jake leave to go to the hospital, Trig rushes into his computer so he can watch the video, and of course, it's disturbing him. Then he goes to Duda's penthouse and tells him that he has a recording of the incident and he needs to leave town if he doesn't want the footage to be released. So, of course, Duda thinks he could either buy or bribe or manipulate his way out of the situation by reminding Trig that he can get Jake kicked out of school, Shad sent back to jail, and pull Imani's permit all with the snap of the finger. But Trig didn't care about none of that. He tells Duda again that if he doesn't leave quietly, he's going to make sure this thing is all over the news by tomorrow morning. Then, as he leaves, Trig says, "Oh, and tell Tracy I said what up." And, that's when we see that Tracy was able to hear Duda and Trig's conversation. So we know that this causes her to pack her stuff up and leave Duda alone for good, hopefully. Next, Emmett has a surprise celebration for Jada because she received good news from the doctor that her test results were good. And if they stay that way, she can avoid another round of chemo. So I was definitely glad to know that our girl Jada won't be going nowhere, hopefully no time soon, right? Anyway, during this party, Keisha introduces Christian to Emmett, and it was a friendly exchange, but Emmett did tell Keisha that Christian seems kind of weird and that he still has to fill him out. So Keisha says, yeah, he's weird, but he treats me like a queen. And I've been filling him out already, okay? And I don't really like that part, when Emmett said he's kind of weird, because I feel like if they do come back for season 5, they're going to use this conversation to push the story forward and probably have this guy turn out to be weird or something like that. I don't know. I just didn't like that. That stuck out to me and it didn't sit well. All right, but anyway, then we have Dre asking Nina if they could put their differences aside so that Lynnae can move in with them until she finds her a foster family that she can trust, right? So Nina was against it at first and told Dre that they can't afford another mouth to feed. But you guys know what happens, right? Nina eventually agrees to let Lynnae move in and Dre agrees to work on the marriage. Next, we have Tiff and Emmett in the staircase, and she tells Emmett that she made the decision to close the marriage. So Emmett thanks her and lets her know that the experience taught him how much their family means to him and how connected him and Tiff are. So Tiff asks Emmett if he will never cheat again, and he tells her that he will make sure he doesn't violate her trust. But Tiff thinks his answer is too vague and wants him to say the words. But Emmett was like, hold up, are you going to say the words? And that's where we see Tiff change her tune real quick, okay? She tells Emmett that never is a scary word and we're both human. So why don't we just agree to do our best? And Emmett took a minute, but then he was like, okay, bet, right? He agreed to this freaking nonsense. But his daggone antennas should have been going up at that moment right there, right? So at this point, guys, I just feel like they need to just get a divorce. And I've been saying this, and especially since Tiff's response alone didn't sound like someone who wanted to close the marriage. And once again, it's that whole life that I've been talking about with her. Once she opened the door to that again, she ain't want to turn back. Next, while Shad and Imani are on their way to Jada's party, we see that they're getting along, and Shad's telling Imani about how he grew up with most of these people in the neighborhood. So as they're walking, this young kid bumped into Imani real hard. So this kid turns out to be Bakari, and if I'm not mistaken, he's the one who killed Ronnie last season. And this little boy is always ready for trouble, okay? So this scene right here was super nerve-wracking for me, guys, because Imani was ready to give Bakari the business, and Shad stepped in and hemmed Bakari up and made him apologize. So we know what happens, right? The kid apologizes, but he gave off this vibe that said, yeah, I'm gonna apologize, but this ain't over. And while Shad and Imani walk away, we see Bakari walking off too. But from a distance, we also see him stop to turn back and watch them. And I was so freaking scared at this point, guys. Like, I thought either Imani or Shad was going to get shot. But thank God they didn't. But I'm still nervous that if there's a 5th season, this kid Bakari will be coming back for Shad or Imani. Anyway, Imani tells Shad that she can handle herself. And Shad was like, I know, but you just got that new lace front. And I know it's expensive. And I didn't want you to mess it up. Next, Tiff slips out of bed while Emmett is sleeping, and she gets ready to meet up with Iman Shumpert's character. I hope I said his last name right. All right, but yeah, she meets up with his character. I don't know his name. We see her step off the elevator, and he's waiting for her. And just like that, guys, we see them kissing. And I was not surprised at all, okay? She's hot to trot, just like Darnell said, okay? And the actress that's playing her does a good job of portraying these whole tendencies, all right? And we saw how she was flirting. She was giving him the sexy eyes when she first met this character, when he approached her and Dom at Smokies. And then we also saw her flirting with him right in the open, though. Like, how disrespectful is that? That she was flirting with this guy right in the open at Jada's party, her mother-in-law's party, where her man is somewhere around, her mother-in-law is somewhere around. Like, all these people know that you are with Emmett and you're openly flirting with this man. Anybody could have peeped that, and it was just disrespectful. So she needs to go in the trash completely. And I'm so annoyed that Emmett just didn't say, look, I can't even deal with this. Because it just shows what kind of woman she is. If anything, he talking about, oh, I learned so much through this experience. You should have learned that you got a hoe on your hands still, just like when you met her, she was a hoe. And now she still is. Y'all opened the marriage and she showed you that she still has that in her. You need to throw her in the trash. Like the relationship, not really her, but the relationship. She has to go, right? Dante told the chick, look, I'm not interested, all right? And she seemed disappointed, but she moved on like a hoe does. On to the next, okay? This is not the type of chick that Emmett needs in his life. And, since the Shy likes to do stuff, they like to show us the real, right? The realistic side of the streets in this world. You also need to show that being a little hoe like this has consequences, and being a cheater in your marriage can have consequences, not just from a woman, but for a man as well, that there could possibly be a fatal attraction on your hands. And that's what they should bring. To me, if they're going to have Tiffany out here hoeing like this, I think what would make the story so interesting is for them to add a fatal attraction to the situation. Like, one of the dudes that she starts messing with is a freaking stalker dude, and it just brings so much drama, and she either gets hurt or killed by him. And I'm not trying to say I want her character to get killed off, but I'm just saying I think that would be good. I think that'd be a nice little twist to the story. But anyway, guys, let's move on, because like I said, at this point I'm mad that Emmett did not leave her. So next, we get to our final scene, and we see everyone gathered together for a community block party. And it's just a feel-good vibe for everyone there, but I was still on edge, guys, okay? Even up to this point, just waiting for something to happen. Like, I thought Bakari was going to come through and just freaking shoot up the place, and maybe an innocent bystander would have got hit. Maybe Christian. Like, I was just, listen, my mind was just going, guys, expecting something to happen. All right, but it didn't. Nothing happened. The season finale ended with this block party. We also get a shot of Duda looking like he might have left town after Rose picked him up and dropped him off somewhere. We also see Rose in the mayor's office, so it looks like she'll be taking over for Duda for a while, while he's gone. And I wonder what excuse she's going to give the press for Duda's absence. But what I don't understand is why Rose was looking so mean when we get that shot of her in his office. Like, girl, are you planning to wreak havoc on the city? Because why do you look like that? It seems like you got everything you wanted, so you should be smiling. I mean, I don't know if she was trying to smile, but it looked sinister to me, but whatever. I guess we'll just have to wait till next season, right? Or maybe we'll just never know if the show isn't renewed for season 5, because so far it hasn't been announced. Anyway, guys, that's the video for today. Let me know what you thought of this episode, the season finale of The Shy. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. All right, guys, you guys take care and be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.